Good evening, I'm Annabelle Tiffin. Welcome to North West Tonight. Our top story. Pride and pageantry for a prince. The Royal Navy's biggest ship gets the freedom of Liverpool for its historic links to the city.
The link between the Royal Navy, this city, HMS Prince of Wales in particular in the city, is incredible.
After the special service, the 800 crew of HMS Prince of Wales marched through the city. Also tonight...
I don't know where I'm going! I don't know where I'm going! Where am I going?
Anger amongst the travelling community, who say police manhandled them out of Manchester. After 130 years of Merseyside derbies, fans prepare for the last one ever at Goodison.
If there's a God up there, he's going to let us win. Of course I win. I'm not even a praying person.
And we're live in Rochdale for Festive Fun Friday. Join us later in the programme with some of the residents on one of the region's most Christmassy streets.
And it was captured beautifully this morning, the calm before the storm. Storm Dara, that is. We've already seen the winds pick up and some outbreaks of rain. An amber warning in force overnight tonight. Join me at the end of the programme. I'll give you all the details.
The centre of Liverpool came to a standstill this afternoon as hundreds of sailors marched through the city. The officers and crew of the aircraft carrier, the Prince of Wales, were celebrating the ship being granted the freedom of Liverpool. The ship is on a week-long visit to the Mersey, and our Merseyside reporter Andy Gill has been following the day's events.
A Royal Marines band leads the 800-strong ship's company of the Prince of Wales past the Liver building this afternoon. They marched with bayonets fixed and colours unfurled, an honour reserved for those who've been granted the freedom of the city.
It's an absolute privilege. This is one of those rare things you get to do in military service. This isn't about me receiving it, this is about the ship. She's going to last 50 years. We're just small bit players, but the link between the Royal Navy, this city, HMS Prince of Wales in particular in the city, is incredible, historic, and to be part of a historic day like today, it's just something I thought I'd never do.
And at Liverpool Town Hall, a salute for the mayor and the captain.
Thanks for their service. They really give up a lot to serve the country. Makes you proud to be a Brit.
It's great to see them all marching past like that, and it's not often you see a big warship in the city like that, so it was very good. Excellent.
Liverpool is the Prince of Wales's affiliated city. It's here for a week. School children have had maths and science lessons on board. But visits to the ship tomorrow have been cancelled because of the weather. Earlier, there was a service at Liverpool Parish Church where the Freedom Scroll was handed to the ship's captain.
Well, I'm a Liverpool supporter myself, and for sailors to come to this moment and able to have the freedom of the city, it means a lot to us. And obviously from the past and what the city has done in terms of war in World War II in 1941, it is really amazing, and we can't wait to be part of the city.
I've really enjoyed seeing them getting the freedom of Liverpool. It's been wonderful.
Means that I'm very proud.
The carrier is due to leave the Mersey on Monday. Andy Gill, BBC North West Tonight, Liverpool.
An amber weather warning for strong winds has been issued by the Met Office as Storm Dara hits the region tonight. Gusts could reach 70 miles per hour. The Environment Agency has also issued a number of flood alerts across the region after yesterday's heavy rain. Here's our environment correspondent, Judy Hobson.
The region's coastal areas are set to bear the brunt of Storm Dara as it crosses the northwest from tonight. The Met Office has issued an amber warning for tomorrow where there could be winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour, and the rest of the region is under a yellow warning.
The wind direction is very important. It's from the north or slightly west of north, and that means places like the Wirral, Merseyside, West Lancashire. Those are the sort of areas that are most in line. They have the most exposure for winds from this particular direction. So certainly potential for some disruption to travel, possible power transmission issues as well, and obviously winds of that sort of strength, any unsecured structures could easily be dislodged, and we could have debris blowing around and the like.
There are currently 6 flood alerts in place in South Cumbria, 1 in Lancashire and 2 in Cheshire, but the Environment Agency believes we could see more.
We're expecting some river catchments to respond in Cumbria, such as the Duddon Valley, so Ulverston, possibly Grasmere, Ambleside, and also the Upper Derwent, so through to Keswick. The rainfall is falling on already wet ground, so we are expecting some response from the rivers, and also because the ground's already saturated, that could produce some localised surface water flooding.
Some sailings to and from the Isle of Man have been cancelled, and Electricity North West is on standby for disruptions to power. National Highways is asking drivers to take extra care on the roads, and for safety reasons, the A66 will be closed in both directions from 7 tomorrow morning.
Obviously, high-sided vehicles, particularly curtain-siders, are affected. Motorbikes for obvious reasons, but even small domestic cars as you go along can easily be affected by winds of this speed. Not only themselves, but obviously the vehicles that are passing near them might be pushed into their direction. But even a small car with 50, 60 mile an hour winds is a good chance you're going to feel that on the road, and it's going to affect your ability to stop.
Storm Dara is the 4th named storm of the year after Ashley, Bert and Connell. The general advice is don't travel unless it's vital. Judy Hobson, BBC North West Tonight.
Well, Kay will be here at the end of the programme with that all-important forecast. But first, let's get a roundup of some of the day's other news. A man has been jailed for 6 years and 4 months after deliberately driving his van at a police officer, fracturing his ankle and causing multiple cuts. Carl Woods from Manchester was turning around in a cul-de-sac when the officer stopped him. He then accelerated towards a gap between the officer's car and another vehicle. A coroner has concluded that a couple died as a result of a house fire which was most likely caused by a faulty e-bike battery. Josh Pearson and Danielle Bamber died in Blackpool in July. The coroners ruled the deaths were accidental. The Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, has questioned the timing of strikes by bus staff. More than 500 B Network workers in non-driving roles are due to walk out on certain dates this month and again in January. Next month, all the region's buses are being taken into public control. Talks are due to take place on Monday to resolve the dispute. And Paul McCartney has been honoured with a new collection of £5 coins celebrating his career. They feature references to the Beatles star's achievements. The 82-year-old, who was involved in the design process, described it as a huge honour. Around 200 protesters from the traveller community marched through Manchester city centre today after an incident 2 weeks ago where Greater Manchester Police were accused of discrimination. Videos of children screaming as they were put onto trains out of the city by officers were shared widely on social media. Katie Barnfield was at today's demonstration.
Smashing up a coffin with the message "Death to Discrimination." This afternoon, members of the traveller community protested in Manchester city centre after accusations of racial profiling by the police.
We're the most hated ethnic group on the planet. Anyone says gypsy or traveller, oh, you're a thief, you're this or that. No, we're not. I'm actually a nurse.
We never had a chance. We don't get a chance. We learn just to take discrimination on the chin and move on with it. But at the end of the day, there's little children getting hurt now.
The protest was organised after this incident 2 weeks ago, where children and teenagers from the community were stopped from going to Manchester's Christmas markets and allegedly forced onto trains by Greater Manchester Police.
I don't know where I'm going! I don't know where I'm going!
Some parents claim their children ended up over 100 miles away. Thomas and John say they organised today's action after being outraged by what they saw.
Our children were dragged and put on trains and sent 100 and 200 miles away from home. Families not knowing where they are. How do you think we felt as families watching on news that our children are getting carted off? The prejudice that the travelling community is enduring, we've endured it from from the days back in our families lived in wagons and tents. We're 100 years on from this and we're still suffering it.
TV star Paddy Doherty was one of those joining today's march.
It comes to children. It's only children. They don't have to be manhandled. You can say, son, where's your parent? Well, you can't escort them like cattle.
Greater Manchester Police told us their actions were part of a dispersal order after responding to reports of antisocial behaviour, and said, "We have written to community groups to express our regret at the distress and upset that the events of the weekend have caused, and that we do wish to address these concerns in a meeting with them. We do not racially profile any group, but understand the concern raised." Today's organisers say they are willing to work with the police if it means their voices will be heard. Katie Barnfield, BBC North West Tonight in Manchester.
Now, in the run-up to the festivities, the NHS is looking to boost its depleted blood stocks with more donors. It especially needs people from Black and Asian communities to help, the likes of Yassine, a 12-year-old boy who requires blood transfusions to treat a rare disorder. Phil Cunliffe has been to the Royal Manchester Children's Hospital to meet him.
Hi, my name's Yassine and I'm 12 years old and I need a blood transfusion every month.
Yassine has thalassemia major, a blood disorder that affects healthy red blood cells. It's hereditary and more common in people from a South Asian background. Without blood transfusions, he could get seriously ill.
I can't make a protein called hemoglobin, so it's hard for me to make my own blood. After that, I run out of energy, so I get blood transfusion so I can get blood and more energy.
For someone who was given their first blood transfusion just 10 months old, Yassine has a cheery disposition. He's used to this by now.
Roughly it takes about 5 hours, and today it's 5 hours and 5 minutes, so it takes some time.
And what do you do in the meantime?
Play on my iPad sometimes. I ask my school for work because I do miss a lot, and yeah, just most of the time relax.
The reason we're filming with Yassine today is to highlight his critical need for blood that's closely matched to his own, which best comes from the same ethnic background. Despite representing 14% of the UK's population, the NHS says fewer than 5% of blood donors in the last year were from Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities. The NHS says blood stocks across the board are low and have been for 2 years.
When there is low stock, what we have to do is prioritise those patients that need it, and obviously emergency patients will always be a priority, and that's when elective patients like Yassine may be compromised and may have delays in getting blood. His quality of life will be severely impacted if there is a delay in blood. He will have fatigue, he will be tired, he may not be able to attend school.
Why do you think people don't donate blood? What's the reason?
Because some people probably don't think about it until they or a relative needs blood. They probably just don't have it in their mind to donate blood. Without the blood, I wouldn't be here.
One day in the future, Yassine might be able to do away with his monthly visit to the hospital by having a bone marrow transplant or gene therapy, but both come with risks. And how do you feel about that?
I'm not too sure because I'm living how I am. I'm fine how I am right now.
That said, a gift of blood during this season of goodwill would be most welcome. Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight, Manchester.
Oh, thank you to Yassine for that. Now, a couple from Cheshire is aiming to send hundreds of Christmas gift boxes to children in Ukraine this winter. Jeanette and Craig Rice from Macclesfield are behind a local community effort called One Project Ukraine, which fills shoeboxes with treats and essentials and then sends them to the war-torn country. Phil Chapman went to meet Jeanette and Craig.
Box, what we try and do is we try and ask people to put stationery in and chocolates, some toiletries, maybe even some socks. It's getting cold over there now, so we just try and fill it with as much as possible.
Jeanette and Craig are gathering and sending well over 1,000 gift boxes to children in Ukraine. Many of them have been orphaned in the conflict, and the Cheshire couple have wanted to help them since the war began.
Last year we did just over 1,150, so we're hoping this year we can beat that target. And the previous year we did take our van over and we actually went to the orphanages and delivered the shoe boxes to the children ourselves.
As winter sets in, it's a stark reminder of how things can get even worse for those already suffering in Ukraine.
We went again when we went over to Lviv in October, and then again it was absolutely freezing. If you think it's cold here over the last few days, you don't believe how cold it is over there. And the further east you go over, the colder it gets. Apart from the shoe boxes and things like that, we send lots of winter clothes over, lots of bedding, duvets, you name it, we send it.
I think I'll definitely be doing it this time next year. If the war has ended, then there's still going to be a lot of children that are in orphanages. So I'll definitely be doing it again next year.
Phil Chapman, BBC North West Tonight, Macclesfield.
That's lovely. And at the end of the programme, we're going to be hearing about more festive charity stuff that you lot are doing out there as well. But now we're going to get on to sport. Richard is here. It's going to be a moment of history tomorrow, isn't it, at Goodison Park?
It really is, Annabelle. Yes, after 130 years of history, tomorrow we'll see the last ever, certainly the last ever league, probably the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. The Blues are moving to their brand new Waterside Stadium next season, with Everton fighting it out towards the bottom of the table and Liverpool with their sights set on the title. It's a game with a lot at stake, and with the final Goodison farewell not far away, emotions will certainly be running high at the famous old ground. It's a fixture that has crackled with emotion since the first Goodison Park derby in the 1890s, with dramatic twists and turns for Blues and Reds along the way. And memories of favourite Goodison derbies fresh in the minds of players lucky enough to have been a part of them.
Peter Beardsley, that end, Park End, picked the ball up and slotted it against the team he played for, obviously. And I know players these days don't celebrate against the teams that they played, but Peter celebrated. And I was in there, I was in that dugout, and I was going ballistic because we were big friends, me and Peter. And he just turned round, scored the goal, run right down, and we high-fived each other, and we beat Liverpool that day.
For supporters like Jamie Yates, there are lots of moments to treasure.
So many emotions tied up in that place. Generations of families, my family going there for, since it opened.
What would it mean to you if Everton can get a result in what is almost certainly the last Merseyside derby at Goodison?
It would mean everything.
To be part of this game is already special, and to be part of the last one on Goodison Park makes it probably even more special.
It will be very emotional here at Goodison Park tomorrow, but let's not forget, as well as the nostalgia, this is going to be a very important game in its own right, particularly with Everton trying to stay in the Premier League and, of course, Liverpool going for the title. So how are both sets of fans feeling ahead of tomorrow's historic clash?
I'm going to be crying. I don't care who hears me, because I love the place, you know what I mean? I love Everton Football Club.
Just hope we win. But if there's a God up there, he's going to let us win.
How important is it for Liverpool going for the title, obviously?
Very, very important.
Of course I win. I'm not even a praying person.
Predicting the winner in the Merseyside derby is notoriously difficult, but what you can be sure of is that whatever the result, there's certain to be a tear in the eye of grown men and women from the blue half of the city at the Grand Old Lady tomorrow afternoon. It'll be emotional, won't it, for sure. Manchester City and United are both in action tomorrow as well. The champion City, fresh from their first win in 8 games in midweek.
You have to manage expectation, and at the same time, when you have a bad result, you have to be calm and continue to do the job that we need to have consistency in the way we focus on the job.
Burnley could go to the top of the Championship tonight if they beat Middlesbrough at Turf Moor. The Clarets have been in excellent form, haven't they? Scott Parker's team have won 4 games in a row without conceding a goal as well. And Sale Sharks get their European campaign underway this weekend. The Sharks travel to Glasgow Warriors tomorrow in their first pool match in the Champions Cup. Sale, who are in a tough group that includes big teams from France and South Africa, will be keen to get off to a winning start in Scotland. Really tough group, Annabelle, but the Sharks won in their last game, so hopefully they can carry that form into this game.
Yeah, definitely. And let's hope Storm Darragh doesn't mess anything up over the weekend.
Hope so, yeah.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, Richard. Now, have you got your decorations up yet? I haven't yet, next week, I think. But many have, and among the more extreme examples is Wrenbury Drive in Rochdale, which has turned itself into something of a winter wonderland to raise funds for a local hospice. So it seemed the ideal place from where to start our Festive Friday series, where we will turn up at some of the region's most Christmassy places. So get those lights on. Ian Haslam is live in Rochdale for us tonight. Ian, it's looking very festive there.
Yeah, they call this Festive Fun Friday or something. There's nothing fun about being stood here. It's freezing, it's absolutely pouring down with rain. But hey, look around us. You could be in the North Pole if you've got a very, very vivid imagination. And it's not dampened the spirits of these locals here, all of whom have decorated their homes. Hello, everyone. Listen to that for a cheer. Even better than we did it in rehearsal. I like it. Maria, you're one of the organisers here. How long have you been doing this for?
For well over 25 years, 26, yeah.
Well, that is well over 25 years, 26.
Yeah.
What gets people so excited about doing this?
Well, it cheers everybody up at Christmas, and we raise money for a really good cause. And it just brightens everybody's lives up, doesn't it?
Yeah, we need
young
a bit
families,
of joy. Yeah, we need a bit of joy at the minute. Look at this, a festive dog here. This is Izzy, if I'm not wrong, yeah? Look at that, really getting into the spirit of it. Don't eat the microphone though, Izzy. It does look tasty, probably, I don't know. Barbara, or Mother Claus, as we are billing you as, quite rightly, giving your dress. This is your palatial home here. Look at the state of it, it looks incredible. How long did this take?
It took about 3 weeks to solid work to inside and out to get it done.
Yeah, but is it worth it though?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about why it's worth it in a second, because you're doing all this for charity, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
A local hospice. Thank you everybody for now. Let's walk over the road and hope there are no cars going, because that will be a health and safety issue. Come on, Paul, the cameraman. We are in the clear. Let's speak to Peter here. This is Peter's home. Peter, you are very much like a poor man's Clark Griswold off the National Lampoon's Christmas film. Look at this home. How long did this take?
10 to 12 hours, roughly. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of electricity. You must be spending a lot.
No. All LEDs, no.
Is there a local rivalry here? Is it descending into chaos and fights?
No? We always switch on at 5 p.m. the first Saturday in every December, so all switch on together.
Yeah,
no
that's
rivalry
coming tomorrow.
at all.
Thank you very much, Peter. Very quickly, let's speak to Jenna. There is a sign here, so please scan to donate. That's in aid of the Spring Hill Hospice. You're from that. How important is this work that they're doing here?
This is absolutely crucial. Our hospice costs over £4 million to run, so we would not be able to survive without the amazing support of our local community, like the residents of Wrenbury Drive. Our hospice is absolutely indebted to people like this, because we wouldn't be able to survive without them.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Gemma. I hope it's a good financial boost. Let's very quickly wind up over here with this lot again. So many residents have come out tonight. It really is horrible weather, this. Let's speak to Max here, one of the younger people here. Max, you must be buzzing about this. It's really Christmassy, isn't it?
Yeah, it very is.
Yeah. And how excited do you get around here, all you young people?
Well, I get very excited because it's one of the best times of the year when people can enjoy and donate to loads of people.
Right, that's brilliant. You wishing everybody a Merry Christmas?
Yeah.
Excellent. So am I, actually, right now. I don't feel very Christmassy. Anyway, with that, and for everybody here, back to you, Annabelle.
I was waiting for the cheer. Thanks so much, Ian. God, that weather is a bit miserable, isn't it? But, you know, the lights make it feel a bit nice.
I know, I did feel a little bit mean, because I should have been there.
Well, that's what we were talking about when they came back to us.
Sorry, Ian.
You should have been there, but you've got sort of really quite important
weather
stuff to talk
about. Yeah, not least the rain that you've already seen just there. A quick look at the photographs from today. So let's start here, where we did have some calm before the storm. Thanks, Polly, for sending that photograph in. We saw cloud increasing. The wind started to pick up. We've already had gusts of 50 miles per hour for the Isle of Man and some outbreaks of rain as well. Thank you for sending those photographs in. If you would like to join me on socials, please do. Here you can find them, or you can become a BBC Weather Watcher and let me know what it's like in your parts of the world. So bear with me, we've got a lot of weather to get through, you and I. Now, Storm Dara, it's already started, but it's going to be more especially through tomorrow, where we're going to get some damaging winds and some heavy outbreaks of rain as well. A storm force winds with an amber warning. That's valid from the early hours of tomorrow morning through till 9 p.m. tomorrow night. We are looking at gusts of up to and potentially above 80 miles per hour. So it's going to be the wind that's the key feature for us. That said, we have got some heavy downpours of rain. No warnings for the rain, though, but the ground is already saturated. If we look at the pressure chart, you can see the area of low pressure sweeping through. As it pushes away on the western flank, the back edge, that's when the winds really start to pep up, and that's going to be during the early hours of the morning. There'll be a time overnight when the winds will actually calm a little because we'll be in the centre of the storm. All parts have got a yellow warning to cater for the wind. Now, as we head overnight tonight, scattered heavy blustery showers. We see that warning then encroaching across all coastal parts and for the Isle of Man. And it's here where we're going to get up to about 70 to 80, if not above 80 miles per hour. I mean, temperature-wise, almost irrelevant. The wind speed adding to those lows of around about 5 to 7 degrees. And it will be wet, so there will be blustery showers. They are showers, though. They will merge at times into longer spells of rain, but they're wrapping around that low and continuing to push away. So there will be some spells of drier weather, but it's going to be windy right throughout the period, and it starts to get more dry as we head towards the end of the day. Temperatures tomorrow, 8 or 9 degrees. Given the wind chill, it'll feel a lot more miserable than that. And, I mean, we're still looking up to around 70 miles per hour. Like I said, that warning's valid till 9 o'clock. Now, if we just scoot ahead over to Sunday, you'll see a much calmer day. Variable amounts of clouds, some bright, some sunny spells, the odd rogue shower or two. The winds will be lighter, but it's still going to be a windy day. We're talking at gusts between around about 30 to potentially 45, 50 miles per hour. So less windy, but still windy, but drier and calmer. And that then is the theme that we start as we head into your next working week. So by Sunday night, going into Monday, the winds will be a lot lighter. And then as we go through Monday, calm. I mean, we're starting to see more settled conditions, high pressure in charge of the weather. So we are going to see some decent spells of sunshine. Day by day, we just start to see those temperatures dropping off, but plenty of sunshine. So calm conditions are coming. We've just got to get through the next 36 hours. Keep an eye on the website.
Yeah, I mean, that west coast is getting a real battering, isn't it?
Yeah, and you've got to think about coastal overflooding as well. You know, big waves. It's not ideal.
So the website and BBC Local Radio, all of that.
And we'll be back at
up to date.
10:25 as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Take care if you're out and about. Bye-bye for now.
Take care.